Fur Rangers Episode 5 Toying Around Part 1. Created and written by the Furry Sith Lord. Fanfiction based on Saban's Power Ranger series. Evening was settling in as Terry and her family prepared for supper. Her father and herself sat at the dinner table, while her mother set about placing plates of dishes based largely on alfalfa. Her younger brother was watching television in the living room, and her parents were getting annoyed that he had not come to the dinner table yet. Her father was trying to meditate before giving thanks over the meal they would eat. A long tradition was a mantra passed down by martial arts masters calling on the fur to give thanks for what they have and to live a pacifist lifestyle unless circumstances force them to do otherwise. Her father likes having the entire family together before he recites the prayer. Boy, if you are not in here in the next 5 seconds, then your mother is going to bring you to school tomorrow with you being in her pouch. Her father yelled, and a second later her brother ran into the dining room. Sorry, Papa. I was just watching the news about the Power Fur Rangers, he said as he sat with his ears lowered. Her father looked at him and sighed, then bowed his head and kept his hands parallel to his face about 3 inches apart. Just for today I will not be angry, he said as the rest of the family repeated what he said as they closed their eyes and bowed their heads. Just for today I will not worry. I will be grateful and work hard. I will be kind to all living things, he said, then concluded his prayer. The rest of the family repeated every line after he said it. What was that about the Power Fur Rangers? Terry asked as she made a few clicking noises. Disgusting creatures, her mother remarked, and Terry looked at her in confusion. Now dear, we don't know that. Maybe they have no idea that they are hurting people, her father replied. What? Terry responded in disbelief. Her family had been in favor of the Power Fur Rangers, so this was a sudden change. She saw a strange look on her mother's face that she could not quite make out. There was a report that their giant robots destroyed a local school. Wish it had been mine, her brother said as he grinned. What school? When did you guys stop liking the Power Fur Rangers? I thought they were heroes, Terry asked. They seemed like nice species, but once the truth was revealed, we realized that they are not the heroes we thought they were, her father said. Terry was speechless and planned to check the internet later to see what had been posted about the Power Fur Rangers being evil. Hiss. So far my venom is doing its job perfectly, the evil Empress said. The more they drink the water we contaminated, the more they hate the Power Fur Rangers. The winged ape cheered. Soon they will be completely under our control, and we can force the Power Fur Rangers to abandon Gold City. Once we have control of it, we will move on to other cities, then the whole world will be under my control, the evil Empress said. If the want is in doing, then the proof is in the pudding, Golip said as it clung desperately to the evil Emperor's leg. What's that supposed to mean, you bucket of puke? The evil Empress shouted. Eh? Echoed the winged ape. Pitiful, 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 the pit is full, pitiful. Golip muttered to himself. Oh, I get it, the evil Empress said, and they turned to look at him for the explanation. What he's saying is that words are not enough. You can say whatever you want, but unless you actually do them, then the words are meaningless, the evil Empress said, and Golip hugged the leg of his master even tighter than before. You guys give me a migraine, the evil Empress said as she slithered away in disgust. The next day, the group gathers at Billy's Juice Bar and Terry explains the events with her family on the previous evening. So later I looked online and there is a growing number of species that are against, she lowers her voice, the Power Fur Rangers. Most disconcerting, Brian remarked. Yeah, and it has me feeling all unsettled too, Zyla added. Why is everyone against the Power Fur Rangers? Did you find anything when you searched online? Lion asked. Not much, just that it's currently trending in Gold City. The trouble is that others are trying to defend them, and they get cyber-bullied for it. Species that looked up to the Power Fur Rangers are losing hope and siding with those against them, Terry said. Zoltan hasn't contacted us yet, so it can't be too much of a problem, Lion said. Like we still need to stay on our toes because I think it'll get worse before it gets better, Lisa said. Attention, attention, everyone, Slash shouted, and everyone turned to look at him. He wore a large red-colored shirt that did not completely fit his pig belly that had a picture of the Power Fur Rangers on it, and a black circle with a line going through it to cross the Power Fur Rangers out. Hey everyone, Slash has something to say, Ghoul yelled as Slash gave his only friend a dirty look. "Attention, everyone. We will be having a meeting of us against the Power Fur Rangers, and if you want to join us, come sign up." Slash said, and several species rose and went over to Slash and Ghoul to join up. The group watched them sadly, wondering if they could somehow change their minds. "I'm going in," Xyla said, and the group looked at him suddenly. "What do you mean?" Brian asked. "I'm going in, undercover, to find out what they're up to." Xyla explained. "You're playing a dangerous game," Terry said after making a few clicking noises. "Indeed," Brian replied as he adjusted his glasses with his wing. "This will give us a chance to find out what's going on." Xyla replied, then he strolled over to Slash and Ghoul. Slash saw Xyla approach and he tapped Ghoul's arm to get his attention. "Well, looky who we have here," Ghoul said. "Hey guys, where do I sign up?" Xyla asked. "You mean to tell me that Xyla Lupus W wants to join the UAPFR?" Slash asked skeptically. "Well, yeah, look at all the evil they did," Xyla said guardedly, as he watched them glare at him. There was something suspicious about their behavior, but he couldn't quite put his paw on it. "Sign here," Ghoul said as he handed a clipboard to Xyla. "On top is the location of today's meeting. We'll be going over there shortly." Slash informed. "The meeting is in the park? I thought you'd have it here." Xyla asked. "Billy has yet to join our side, but the truth will soon be revealed to him," Ghoul said, and Xyla was surprised at how assertive Ghoul was because he usually followed Slash's lead. "Cool," Xyla replied, and he moved next to a group that had just joined and tried talking to them. He found that they were giving him the cold shoulder for some reason and wondered why he was being singled out. The evil Emperor was using his special powers to watch two cubs on the planet that were playing with army fur soldiers. The more he thought about it, the more he reasoned to himself that they would make a wonderful monster. He took a deep breath and launched a fireball towards the planet where the cubs were playing. The two cubs felt a sense of dread as they looked up and saw something made of fire falling from the sky. They ran in fear, leaving their toys behind, and the fireball hovered above one of the toys and began to break one of the toys into fragments, and drew it in, and the fireball transformed into a monster. The monster looked like a human or a duck that had a green face and a yellow beak. The shirt it was wearing looked like something a jester would wear, except it had a green army jacket that had both military symbols as well as images of toys. The monster wore green camouflage pants and black army boots. "Quaker, destroy the Power Fur Rangers," the evil Emperor said. The monster danced on one foot, then did a flip and a somersault. "Yes, Master," Quaker said, then he stood upright and did an army salute towards the sky where the evil Emperor watched. "Hiss. The next vial is ready." The evil Empress brought a vial of a swirling yellow-colored liquid. "Gollip." The evil Emperor shouted, and Gollip appeared out of the shadows, muttering to himself. He fell at the feet of the evil Emperor, prostrating himself. The evil Empress made a disgusted sound as she saw the creature. "Yes, Master," Gollip said as it ignored everything except the evil Emperor. "Take this vial of venom and infect a new water tank at the water treatment plant," the evil Emperor said, and Gollip took the vial and held it close to his body as if it was the most important thing. "I'll send some snake warriors to keep the Power Fur Rangers distracted while Gollip carries out your will," the winged ape said. The evil Empress rolled her eyes, knowing that she was the only one that could create them, and she spun her multicolored staff and used its magic to create the snake warriors. They saluted the evil Emperor and teleported to the planet. Brian was walking home with a backpack on when he was suddenly surrounded by snake warriors. He flinched and took up a fighting stance as they slithered around him, encircling him. "Look who's come to play," Brian remarked, and he used his wings to deflect a couple of punches from the snake warriors, then after successfully blocking he kicked them and sent them tumbling. He moved over to a tree to use it as a shield and spoke into the long blue power ring he wore. "Guys, I'm being attacked by snake warriors," he said. "Like so are we," Lisa replied after a few seconds, but he was already back to defending himself from attack. "Welcome to the latest meeting of us against the Power Fur Rangers, or UAPFR as we like to be known," Slash said as he addressed the group. The power ring Xyla wore glowed faintly that only he could see, and he heard the Power Fur Rangers talking, but no one else around him could hear or see anything. He was feeling anxious because he wanted to run off and assist his friends, but he had landed himself in this predicament by deciding, against his friend's better judgment, to go undercover. He was regretting his actions. "You're playing a dangerous game," Terry had said to him. He now knew how right she had been. Lucky for us, the Black Power Fur Ranger has decided to join, or should I say sacrifice, himself to us. Ghoul said, and Xyla looked around as everyone there turned to stare at him. He saw their eyes glow red briefly. The group rose to their feet as he saw that they surrounded him. Oh, he said to himself. Oh no, those species know the identity of the Black Power Fur Ranger. Clank cried out to Zoltan as an alarm was sounding. This must be the evil Empress's magic. Zoltan replied as he viewed the monitor in his chamber. What should we do? Clank asked. Then the alarm went off a second time as the monitor showed Golip was creeping around the water treatment plant. Transport Xyla here immediately. Zoltan ordered. In a matter of seconds, Xyla materialized in the secret lair. He took a deep breath of relief. Thanks guys, that was close. Xyla said. Xyla, we have a problem. Golip is trying to contaminate the water supply at the treatment plant. Zoltan explained. But didn't we already stop them once? Xyla asked. Oh no, we think Golip may have snuck by you guys and contaminated the water. That's why everyone is turning against the Power Fur Rangers. If he contaminates another tank, then the numbers will grow. You have to stop him. Zoltan said. Got it. Xyla replied. Just be careful because Golip was once a Power Fur Ranger. The evil Empress magic may have turned him into that creature, but he is still as dangerous. Clank cautioned. I'll be careful. Xyla responded softly. The alarm in the secret lair began to ring again as Quaker appeared on the monitor. Oh no, the evil Empress sent down another monster. Clank cried out. There is no time to lose. Xyla, stop Golip while I send the others to fight the monster. Zoltan said. Time to transform, baby. Xyla shouted as he crossed his paws in front of them, making X shapes, then closed his eyes. He quickly opened his eyes as he extended his index and middle fingers as if he were unsheathing claws. He then clasped his paws together as if holding a ball of energy and motioned to pull his paws behind his backs. Power of the Black Power Fur Ranger. Xyla shouted. He then motioned as if he was throwing the energy like a fireball forward. The ring he wore transformed into a grey-coloured goo that quickly completely enveloped his body. The goo hardened and became his Power Fur Ranger outfit that looked as thin as spandex but stronger than the toughest steel. The helmet he wore had made black slots where the eyes were so he could see out of it. His body seemed androgynous and the armor made it appear as if they made more muscle mass than they actually had. I'll stop Golip, but what about the monster? The Black Power Fur Ranger asked. The others will have to deal with him, but you need to stop Golip at all costs. Zoltan said. The Black Power Fur Ranger was transported to the water treatment plant. The familiar security guard waved as he ran past to enter the plant. Hiya! Lion cried as he punched the last snake warrior, and it shattered into tiny snake fragments that slithered away before they dematerialized. He took a deep breath and Terry ran over to join him. The evil Emperor is up to something. She remarked. Yeah, the real question is what is it? Power Fur Rangers, return to the secret lair as soon as you can. The evil Emperor has sent another monster down. Zoltan said. Terry and Lion looked around to make sure no one could see them. They transported themselves to their secret base. Once the group was together, they turned to face the projection of Zoltan. Lion looked around and was surprised that he didn't see Xyla, and he started to worry about his teammate. Where's Xyla? Lion asked, and the others looked around and suddenly noticed his absence. The evil Emperor sent Golip back to the water treatment plant. We sent him there to try and stop him. Clank explained. Like, is that why everyone hates us? Lisa asked. I believe so, Zoltan replied. So, we did fail. Lion said, his voice held the touches of depression. Oh no, these things happen. That creature is trickier than anything you've come up against. Clank said. The trouble is that Golip was once a Power Fur Ranger, so he has the same knowledge you have. Will the antidote I created still work? Brian asked as he used his wing to adjust his glasses. Yes, and we've sent it with the Black Power Fur Ranger to treat the contaminated tanks once he stops Golip. Zoltan said. What about this new monster? Terry asked. It uses toys to attack and can make a toy grenade explode as if it were a real one. Clank said. The alarm began to sound again, and the monitor showed the UAPFR were in the park rioting as they waved signs around that had Anti-Power Fur Ranger writing on it. The monster Quaker stood nearby and watched. Like, is he gonna use them as shields to prevent us from attacking? Even though they are under the evil Empress's spell, we must make sure the civilians are safe. Zoltan replied. Time to transform. Baby, they shouted as they crossed their paws in front of them, making X shapes, then closed their eyes. They quickly opened their eyes as they extended their index and middle fingers as if they were unsheathing claws. They then clasped their paws together as if holding a ball of energy and motioned to pull their paws behind their backs. Power of the Pink Power Fur Ranger. Lisa shouted. Power of the Blue Power Fur Ranger. Brian shouted. Power of the Yellow Power Fur Ranger. Terry shouted. Power of the Red Power Fur Ranger. Lion shouted. They then motioned as if they were throwing the energy like a fireball forward. The rings they wore transformed into a grey-coloured goo that quickly completely enveloped their bodies. The goo hardened and became their Power Fur Ranger outfits that looked as thin as spandex but stronger than the toughest steel. The helmets they wore had made black slots where the eyes were so they could see out of it. Their bodies seemed androgynous, and the armor made it appear as if they had more muscle mass than they actually had. Oh no, remember, they are not in control of themselves. Even though they attack, it's not because they want to. I promise no harm will come to them. The Red Power Fur Ranger replied. The Black Power Fur Ranger slowly crept inside the water treatment plant. He cautiously looked around, trying to see where Gollip might be hiding. He was filled with unease at the thought of having to fight a former Power Fur Ranger. Gollip? Gollip? Where are you? He asked, and he really was not expecting an answer, but it just seemed a normal action as he searched. Pitiful, 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 the voice of Gollip echoed. The pit is full, pitiful. The words sent a chill down his spine as he heard Gollip say them. The echo made them sound both sinister and lonely almost at the same time. The Black Power Fur Ranger slowly moved forward, unaware that Gollip was silently stalking him from behind. Gollip's eyes shone with a light that only it could see as it watched the Black Power Fur Ranger search. Pitiful, 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 Gollip muttered softly, and as the Black Power Fur Ranger turned, hearing the noise Gollip was making, Gollip charged at him and attacked.
To be continued.
This ends episode 5. I hope you enjoyed it. Please join us again in episode 6.